Hey y'all, this is Marley K. Hope y'all are well. I have another story. I'm going to follow up with the other story from the Vati. And this is an editorial. It comes directly from the Vatican's website. So I'm not making up anything. I'm going to read it verbatim, and hopefully you'll take all that I taught you this year and recall it so that you can understand the language that's being used here. But this is exactly what we've been warning about, those of us who've been seeing the head form on the beast. And it's here, it's announced. So while this is an editorial, it basically is a summation of what we've been expecting. So it's not a surprise to me and others who've been watching, but it's just interesting. Listen to this language. So this says multilateralism from below to combat climate change and more. In Pope Francis's new exhortation, he highlights the importance of global authorities capable of enforcing commitments, as well as the need for participation on the part of all. With his exhortation, Laudate Deum, Pope Francis has not only clarified and brought to completion the message of the encyclical Laudato Si, published 8 years ago. And this new document, full of data and numbers drawn from the most recent scientific literature, does more than just sound yet another dramatic alarm about the worsening consequences of climate change, in the hopes that COP28 in Dubai will finally reverse the trend before it's too late. Laudate Deum contains much more. And in the chapter devoted to the weakness of international politics, it puts its finger on a plague of our time: the absence of supranational institutions and organizations capable of enforcing commitments and settling disputes. The Holy Father contextualizes his suggestions, looking in particular at the climate crisis and the need to reduce harmful emissions through a real ecological conversion, but they concern our future, and not only as it relates to care for creation. They are in fact applicable to other spheres. Just think of war. Indeed, of the many wars that are being fought in this world at this precise moment, ties of a ghastly mosaic that Francis has repeatedly called World War III fought piecemeal. The Pope's vision is a multipolar one, a multilateral one, insisting on the need to favor multi-party agreements among states and the possibility of some form of world authority regulated by law. That is, of more effective world organizations equipped with the power to provide for the global common good, the elimination of hunger and poverty, and the sure defense of fundamental human rights. This is why we are going to read Laudate Deum in its entirety on one rumble and not on YouTube, because YouTube is trash. Organizations, in short, capable of providing for the attainment of certain essential goals. New tools are needed, not just a revival of the old ones. New tools are needed. The tools are coming, y'all. Just as, with an ongoing war in Ukraine, the Pope called for a rediscovery of the spirit of Helsinki, aware that the 1975 Conference on Security and Cooperation in Europe as such would be unrepeatable today. So with regard to the environmental crisis, he writes, more than saving the multilateralism, it appears that the current challenge is to reconfigure and recreate it, taking into account the new world situation. This involves recognizing and properly valuing the work that many civil society associations and organizations accomplish, compensating for the weaknesses for the international community. It is insignificant in this regard that the Pope cites the Ottawa process, which aimed to bring an end to the production and use of anti-personnel mines, as one example that shows how civil society with its organizations is capable of creating effective dynamics that the United Nations cannot. In his exhortation, the Bishop of Rome, thus proposes multilateralism as an inevitable process, a multilateralism from below, and not simply one determined by the elites of power. He recognizes the importance of the new emerging powers, which are increasingly relevant. Never says what those powers are, but okay. To achieve this new multilateralism, new procedures for decision making are needed, as are spaces for conversation, consultation, arbitration, conflict resolution, and supervision, and in the end, a sort of increased democratization in the global context so that the various situations can be expressed and included. Because Pope Francis concludes, it is no longer helpful to support institutions that preserve the rights of the more powerful without caring for those of all. That's your common good. This holds true whether we are addressing the climate and migratory crisis, the conflicts staining the globe in blood, or finally addressing the scandal of world hunger and thirst with a proposal to change the current financial and economic system, which produces inequality. So I'm going to read this one more time. Pope Francis concludes, it is no longer helpful to support institutions that preserve the rights of the more powerful without caring for those of all. This holds true whether we are addressing the climate and migratory crisis, the conflicts staining the globe in blood, or finally addressing the scandal of world hunger and thirst with a proposal to change the current financial and economic system which produces inequality. And that is a quote. These are interconnected phenomena. These are all interconnected phenomena, as the encyclical Laudato Si had already amply shown. So that's the end of this story, and I'm gonna keep my comments to myself so that this video can stay up. Please read Laudate Deum And we will be going over this probably in phases because it's really long. But I just wanted to give you the highlights, some of the good quotes out of it. So if you did not know who's in charge of the global order, you have just been notified. All right. Please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification so that you will be notified each and every time, maybe, that I upload new content because YouTube be tripping. Also, follow me on Odyssey and Rumble. The links are in the description. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to post a whole lot of things going forward about the beast system on YouTube because they have been pulling the videos that I did in the past, especially the ones about the new global order, the new economic system, stuff like that, and about the Pope. So follow me on Rumble and Odyssey so that you can get that content and those discussions. Follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram and on Facebook. I do not post there regularly, but in the event that I'm booted from someplace, I will notify you. YouTube is my primary platform that I use now, but if I have to go to other platforms, that's where you will be notified. If you'd like to support the channel, please find the links in the description. Love offerings are accepted and much appreciated. And if you have donated in the past, I am eternally grateful. I know you don't have to support channels like these, but we do a lot of laboring, intensive reading and studying and following footsteps, and so it's time consuming, the time that we're not compensated for. So when you take the time to show us gratitude, we greatly appreciate it. Keep repping, keep praying, keep seeking the Most High. Obey those laws, statutes, and commandments as best you can. And never forget to pray for sins of commission and sins of omission. We are getting ready to get into some really treacherous, savage times. And as I've been telling you, the agenda is getting ready to be accelerated. So you need to be prepared. Knowledge is power. Wisdom is going to be life-saving. So get your wisdom and understanding from the good book and the Most High. Work on your connections with Him because we're going to need them. All right, y'all. This is Marley K, and I'm out.